Hi, I'm Oblissi. Hey guys, if you enjoy this video, I appreciate a like, comment, sub, and little bell notification. Thanks so much, enjoy.
Hey everyone, today I'm going to teach you how to RNG abuse eggs in Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. This is only for Ruby Sapphire, not for Fire Red Leaf Green, and not for Emerald version. If you want to learn how to do it in Emerald version, go watch my video for that, link in the description and in the comments. If you want to do it in Fire Red and Leaf Green, just don't. Just do it in one of these games. No different egg moves or anything like that, so I just say stick to Ruby Sapphire or Emerald. Very easy in both of those games. Ruby and Sapphire, I think, is much simpler than Emerald version, so there's almost no pre-required setup. So if we want to check in-game, for example, the only things you're going to need in-game are to be basically in front of the daycare woman, have the two Pokemon you want to breed, so I have a Ditto and a Swablu here. You're going to need to know the exact stats of them. You're also going to need some rare candies and some Max Repels. Other than that, in-game, you don't need anything else. There's no way to speed up egg hatchings. Magma Armor and Flame Body don't do that in this game, and there's no Everstone, doesn't really work in this game either, so don't use any of them. You're also going to need to make sure your battery's dead. This is only a method for dead battery Ruby and Sapphire version. And again, it's a different process than it is in Emerald, so if you want to do it in Emerald version, go watch that video. Out of game, you're going to need Eon Timer, and you're going to need a Poke Finder. So, in game, if you want a shiny, by the way, you're also going to need your secret ID. You can get your secret ID by either RNG abusing it, or finding it out some other way, maybe via hacks, or Pokecheck by trading it up to Gen 4 using Pokecheck, or by catching a wild shiny. Okay, so in Poke Finder, what you're going to do is open the Egg tab, and it's going to pop up here. Make sure your profile's set, so this is my Ruby version, this is my trainer and secret ID. It should automatically set the seeds, but if for some reason it doesn't, in Ruby and Sapphire, you always set that as 5A0. Pickup frame and held frame, 1 to 5,000 is fine. You could increase this to 50,000, I think, if you want, but that gets like pretty long. It's like more than 10 minutes maybe, so that's fine. You're also going to leave it at normal. Split and alternate, they're just for checking, basically, like if you miss your frame and then you can't find what frame you hit. Yeah. So what we're going to do here first is, if you want a specific IVs, type them in here. I'm not going for any of those. For the parents, what you're going to have to do is type in their IVs. So one of mine is just an all perfect Ditto. And then the other one is this Swablu. So let me look at its stats here really quick. 5, 4, 25, 6, 14. So, you're also going to need to make sure whether they like each other or not. So, I believe I have them not the most optimal one, but they are different. So, they're different species, but different trainers. So, they should get along like medium level or whatever. You can set all of the other stuff here. You know, the gender if you want, the ability you want, nature you want. Again, I'm not going to be picky for any of that crap, right? I'm only going for a shiny in this video, but you just set all of the parameters you want. And now, the more specific the parameters you want, it's going to be better to have better stats on your Pokemon as well. Like, if you want all 31s, you're not going to get it without having a parent that has all 31s, right? So, I'm going to hit generate here. And it's going to take a second, and it's going to give me all of my results. Okay, so these are just all of my like shiny spreads. They all really happen pretty fast. So as you notice, there's two different ones. There's pickup frame and held frame. So held frame is like the final step you take when the egg's generated, and pickup frame is just when you receive it from the guy. So I'll actually go for this one. I like this quite a bit. Now, what you can also do is parent A and parent B is the order you give them into the guy. So in case you want a better result, you can swap parents this button here and hit generate again, and maybe you'll get some different there's a chance, especially if you're getting very specific with your natures, etc. There's a chance you'll get a different as you can see, my IVs like my IVs change and all that stuff here. So it seems the pickup time and the it seems all that's the same. So let's see. Was it better the other way? Seems to be roughly the same. Doesn't really matter to me. So we're going to go with this one here. Oh, and also for the gender, you might want to just not pick a gender, but pick the correct gender ratio. It'll help you out in figuring when you miss the frame eventually, which one you're going to hit. Just have to Google Swablu's. Swablu's 50-50. Sometimes with, like, some of the, quote, cute Pokemon, they, like, make it not 50-50. But it is. Alright, so what we're going to be doing for now is, in Eon Timer, I'm going to set it to the held frame. So 1016 is the frame I'm aiming for. We'll leave it at that. Back in the game, we're going to give it in the order. So parent A goes in first, so my Ditto's going in first, and then it's going to be my Swablu. So, yep. Alright. So we're going to drop Ditto off. Then we'll drop the Swablu off. Now, what we're going to do next is put on a Max Repel. Max Repel lasts 250 steps. A Pokemon is generated every, or it checks for generation every 255 steps. So all we do is we walk 250 steps. When it runs out, then we take 4 steps, and we go see if our egg's generated. So the process is pretty simple, and it's very similar to Emerald's version. However, the one thing about Emerald, compared to Emerald version, if you ask me, is since there's no pre-setup, no pre-calibration or anything like that, it is much quicker. You don't have to do the whole spin the thing and figure out what your, calibration is and all that. You just kind of get in and you can start making the eggs. In this game, it's a little harder because, like in Emerald version, once you do the calibration, you can just go for shinies after shinies, or if you don't want to do the calibration and you just want to go for straight IVs, you actually don't have to do the calibration if you're doing IVs, right? So you can just, reset until you get a good nature, or ability or whatever. In this game, you can't do that. Everything is tied together, right? The first half of the Pokemon is generated when it's generated as being held, and then the second half is generated when you pick up. So since they're tied together, it's a little dicier, but you probably have better spreads this way. So I have to take 4 steps now. I've taken 250. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And save. And what we're going to be doing here is we're going to start Eon Timer and soft reset our game at the same time. So pre-timer should always be 5,000 at first, so I'll do that. And what we do now is we mash through the intro, and when the timer hits 0, all we do is we take our final step. Alright, and it's not generated. And I'm just going to make sure... Okay. I was just double checking to make sure I had the two get along thing properly. Hold on. Why is it not... Interesting. You'd think it would be telling you the gender, but it's not. I'll figure that out in 1 second. I don't know, for some reason it's not displaying the gender. It might just be a bug or whatever, but it's fine. I will report it to him, though. So hopefully that'll be fixed by the time you guys try it. So if the egg doesn't generate, you just try again. And you just kind of mash through and give it a go again. Oops, dang it. That happens. That's why you should try and go in the direction you're facing, because sometimes you will be too light. Give it a go again. Alright. Alright, and what we do here is we save in front of this guy. And now we're going to be aiming for the second half of the frame. So we're going to be aiming for 1804. So we'll type that here. We'll give that a go. Okay. Give that a go. Talk to this guy, get to the, you accept the egg, and then it's after this. It's the take good care of it. You hit A on take good care of it. And then we'll figure out from there a little bit more about the egg. So you're probably not going to get it first try. That's fine. You're going to have to do some calibration, and so we'll figure that out along the way. Alright, and now all you do is you hatch it. And this will take some time, so I'm actually going to pause. Alright, my egg's finally hatching. It takes several minutes for the Swablu to hatch, so. Alright. So, what we have to do here is not only check our Swablu, check its nature and all that, we're going to have to check its stats as well. So what we're going to be doing is setting our frame range. Our pickup range was, you know, I'd set it to 900 to 1200, and give it a few, give it like a wide berth, I say. Our pickup range 17 to 1900, you know, about 100 frame difference. And we'll uncheck shiny only. We're looking for a bold nature and an adamant nature. So bold and adamant. We're looking for bold because that's the nature my Swablu was, and adamant because, well, that's the nature we were aiming for. So first of all, let's scroll closer to the frames we actually aimed for the pickup, the held frame or whatever. It's going to be very difficult to tell only by nature, right? So we aimed for... So this is the one we aimed for. Oh, where are you at? Okay, so... I mean, immediately around, it seems... that if we were pretty close on the held frame, that we were kind of way off on the pickup frame. It's going to be pretty difficult to tell without looking at the stats of this thing. So what we have to do is go into a stat calc. So I'm going to open up MetalKid Stat Calc. And we're going to have to do this. Swablu. We're looking for bold. Oops, and default level 5, and we'll just give it a few. Okay, we'll just give it a few levels. Probably 14, yeah, 21, 14. Alright, and I'm going to hit calculate. Okay. We still have quite a large range, so I'll do 5 more levels, and then I'll see where I'm at. Okay, so I have more or less 4 stats determined, and then the rest of the stats still have quite a wide range, but we'll give it a go and see what's going on here. So I have 10 to 16. Oh, you know what? And actually, the reason I don't like to... I just remembered. The reason I don't like to do this type of search specifically is because it's very hard to tell whether, like... Because if I do the search range right, my adamant will go away here, so... Oh, hold on. So, yeah. So, I won't be able to see necessarily how far away I am from the adamant, but can I do a set as... No, there's no set as target frame in here. So it's going to be kind of hard. The HP I'm looking at for bold is 10 to 16. It could be here. Alright, so yeah, I think I'm just going to have to type in the stats, unfortunately, as much as I don't want to. 16. Attack is 5. 26. 30. This one's also 30. And then this one is 0 to 6. And we just have to remember we were looking at 1016 and 1804. So let's see what we get when we search. Oh, okay, I'm searching here. So I'm looking for only bold. Alright. So this is looking like so the problem is once you get to here, right? So first of all, once you get to here, a lot of these are, you know, they're all the same stats, right? It couldn't have been, it could have been any of these, and the problem with Swablu in specific is I believe it only has one ability, right? It, I think it only has Natural Cure, so we have to figure out a few more things about it since all of these potential results are the same stats. I'm thinking I hit this one. It seems I would have always gotten this pickup frame, 1805, so it seems like I was very close with the pickup frame. For the held frame, I doubt I hit any of these other really far ones, but we'll see. The best way to figure it out is, since increasing the stats won't help, I'm going to check off that I'm a female. And I'm obviously going to uncheck Adamant and go for bold and see again. Okay, so it seems that I would have had to be very far off to hit any of these other frames here. These are all well below what I was aiming at. This one is potentially possible, the 994. However, I don't know if there's any other type of deduction we could do in order to figure out what frame we hit. So I'm saying 1027, it's likely we're way off there, the 1805. So I'm thinking it's this one. Otherwise, it's way too far off, right? So I think that's a safe bet. So what we're going to have to do is go into Eon Timer, type 1016 is the frame we were aiming for, right? So if we uncheck all of this, right, we shiny only, we clear all of these results, so, you know, make sure to keep these, your stats written down somewhere or whatever, but, uncheck the female only, any nature, shiny only we want, oops, and generate. Oh, and yeah, we'll reduce the frame range, right? 0 to 5,000. 5,000. Generate. Oh, it thinks we're still bold for some reason. Let's uncheck that. All right, so we're aiming for nope, 1,000, not 500. We're aiming for, if we remember, this Adamant one down here, so 1016. That's all I wanted to double check. So 1016, and we hit 1027. We update. So this lag, this calibration here, will only be using for the egg held frame, not the egg pickup. The egg pickup, I was only one frame late, so it's likely I'll be able to hit that on further attempts. And we just give it a go again. Okay. And if you remember, we didn't save or anything like that, so... Oh, we actually did. I'm a dum-dum. So, since our egg pickup frame was good, but our egg held frame was bad, there's actually... I actually realized there's two options here, right? So, we did get 1027 as our held frame. So, if we look around here, I would see if there's any 1027 held frames for the shininess. So, like, if I did this, right? 1027, 1027, right? Pickup frame increased drastically, right? Hit generate. So, as you can see, there's actually potential for me to get with this as my so yeah, I have two options here, right? So what I did, and to explain it a little better, I hit 1027, right? So this is the frame for the held frame that I hit. What I did was I locked my held frame at 1027, and instead of using this minus 184 calibration to retry my target frame of the Adamant one at 1016, what I can do is instead, since I know my held frame is at 1027, I can attempt one of these shiny frames here with a different pickup frame, right? So my pickup frame would be 10,017 here instead, and since I always, no matter what, I've already got this held frame down, I could aim for this and calibrate for that instead. It's up to you what you want to do. Since I'm just going for a shiny in this video and I'm not being too picky, it's actually not the worst idea to go for this. I'm trying to figure out what would make a better video on the fly. No, so yeah, so I showed you how to calibrate if you want to go back on your calibration for your egg health frame. Like I said, for my egg pickup frame, I was only 1 frame off, so I'm actually just going to go for this one right here. So instead of using this calibration, I will write it down though for later. Maybe I'll actually even go for it later on in the video, but I'll just show you now how to go for the one. So instead of this, I'll leave my calibration at 0 and change my pickup frame for 10,017. And all we have to do is, let me back this up over here, give this a good reset, and we'll be on our way. And so we just do the same thing as last time. And we wait, and so I'll unpause it when I'm receiving it. Alright, and hatching time. Alright, it's hatching. Let's see how we did. Hopefully I can get it. A bit pressed for time this afternoon. Nope. Very sad. Big sad. Let's see what I hit. So it's unfortunate. I mean, this is just kind of the nature of the Gen 3. So let's also look for Brave. This is just kind of the nature of Gen 3, right? So we were aiming for frame 1017, right? Oh, a Brave one is shine. Interesting. Okay, so this one would have been slightly earlier. And the next closest Brave one is actually quite early, although there's a chance it was this just based on what happened. So I think, you know, the best thing as usual to do is to check its stats. Okay, so I definitely hit this one. The attack has to be 4 or 5, and the special attack has to be 0 through 3, so it must basically, I mean, I don't think there's any other circumstance where it's anything else, so I'll type what I hit. Way early for some reason. Seem to have overcorrected a bit. I don't love this. I don't love this 385 here, because my first attempt, I was definitely too late, huh? I'll give it another go, and we'll see what comes of it. Alright. And there we go. Okay, here we go. Attempt number 3. And we're off. Alright, hatching again. Let's see how this goes. And there's our shiny Swablu. So no nickname yet. It's actually the second one I've got because I did one quite a while ago. So as you can see, it's a Brave nature. The nature we were aiming for was Brave, and so this method was, oh my gosh, I've completely lost it. 1070. There it is. So these would be the stats that we got. So as you can see, there's 2 potential methods for this, right? Is you can continue to adjust the initial step range that you took. So like I said, I hit a 1027 here for the held frame when I was aiming for a 1016. But instead of constantly readjusting for the health frame, which would be a bit difficult, what I chose to do was just lock in my health frame at 1027 and aim for a different shiny frame here. Now this method isn't always going to work, and sometimes you're going to have to readjust the health frame. If you would like to see me doing that, let me know. I would be happy to make a separate, more in-depth video of that. If you have any other questions or comments, leave them down below, and I'll see you guys next video. I'd just like to take a second at the end of the video to thank my sponsors and donators. You guys are awesome. I can't say enough how much I appreciate all of your support, and big love to you all from me. Thanks so much, guys. I wouldn't be able to do it without you all.